Okay, here's the facts, okay? 1700s, 1900s, 1800s, and early 1900s, here's a fact for you. We've got no evidence of someone talking about going inside of a craft, right, and saying that they saw like these aliens or that there was some kind of vessel that lifted them up and they were taken to some other planet or something, You don't have any evidence of things like that, right? Animal mutilations and UFO abductees, it only starts happening in the 1950s after Nikola Tesla invented flying machines, anti-gravity technology. I mean, Mexico is one of the areas that the Werner von Braun was working with Nikola Tesla technology in Mexico in the 1930s, before the war. And then I find it interesting that after the war, in 1940s, is where the Roswell incident happened. It just happened to be in Mexico. Right? And you've got 1928, world's first flying saucer. And you've got to remember, alien movies started in the early 1900s. Right? Till nowadays, It's like over 100 years of brainwashing the masses into believing in aliens from other planets. Now, and when it comes to ancient aliens, it's really just a misinterpretation of the ancient world. Now, when you look at these, these airplane-looking things, right? It'd be very, very easy to go, well, this is pretty strange. But it's only because you're not seeing the bigger picture. Because there was like over 100, I think it was about 100 of these things, but they were actually, it's like they've changed their design. They've become more abstract. When you look at this image of this type of fish kind of creature, it looks kind of like, it's not quite abstract, but you can see how it's imitating fins, things like that, and you see it's more curvy, right? But when you look at one of their frogs, if you look closely, you'll notice that its feet are very abstract. It's not as curvy, it's very squared out. Because they changed their design. Now when you look at this other creature, that it almost looks like a bird. You can see that it's got a face on it, and you can almost see its fin or its tail looks very almost abstract, very triangular shaped, whereas the wing is more curvy, right? So it's like they're changing their style of creating artwork. And then when you look at these almost airplane things, you'll notice they've all got faces on them, right? Which means that they're not trying to imitate a plane. It means they're trying to imitate nature, but they've become more abstract. Instead of having curvy wings or fins, they've become more abstract, more triangular. If you look at this one here of the catfish, you can see that the catfish has a face on it, and the other one has a face on it too. See, airplanes, they don't have faces on them, And then of course, if you look at a catfish, you can see how it's got these fins on it, and so that instead of them trying to imitate the fins precisely, they're trying to become more abstract. They're trying to become more triangular in shape. It's just the way they changed their art style. Just like with a frog, the frog's feet has become more squared, more abstract, more squared out, more straight. and that's why you get that look that you get, right? So let's look at reality for what it really is, right? And then, of course, Nikola Tesla gets censored. His information is in the government vaults, right? This information is completely in the government vaults, right? Taken away from the public. And then you've got Otis Carr and Ralph Ring. Ralph Ring creates a flying saucer with Otis Carr, because Otis Carr used to create flying saucers with Nikola Tesla. Ralph Ring says he travelled in the UFO, he came back, took the sticks and stones out of his pocket, realised he did travel somewhere, but he experienced missing memories. He didn't remember going anywhere. Later on in life, he remembered travelling somewhere. Well, isn't that the exact same thing that happens with people in UFO abductees? Is that they usually forget that they were abducted? Yeah? Missing memories? So again, it's man-made technology. It's not coming from another planet. But because people are too brainwashed to see that, they can't see it. They can't see the facts for what it really is. And Ancient Alien is just a misinterpretation of the ancient world. See, this is a reality, right? Movies is not reality. These are the facts, okay? How come the CIA director, all these professionals, when they see, or experts see UFOs, they always seem to jump to the conclusion that, well, maybe, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's not our technology.
One shows a spherical object dipping into the ocean, similar to an incident in Puerto Rico, where an object was tracked buzzing an airport, then flying into the water, popping back out before appearing to split into two and disappearing. Over the December, ex-CIA Director John Brennan said it was arrogant to believe there are no other forms of life other than the ones on Earth, and former intelligence chief John Radcliffe says officials have been tracking technology beyond our capabilities.
We're talking about objects picked up by satellite imagery that are difficult to explain.
So maybe it's coming from another planet. They never reference the Nazis and Nikola Tesla. How come is it these are professionals, okay? Now you have to ask yourself, why is it that they never reference these guys as a possible explanation for those UFOs? They never ever talk about them, you'll notice. Because they want you ignorant to all of this information. Because they want you to think that there's aliens on other planets coming here. See how everything's so fraudulent? They never ever, they just go, oh, there must be aliens from other planets.